What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Squash. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Suppe. The map is Watering Hole, and this one is a build order expedition, ladies and gentlemen. We are learning about build orders today for the very simple reason that both of these guys are doing something very, very interesting. So first things first here, look at this delayed hunting dogs, an immediate dwarf out by Suppe on Watering Hole. That's his plan. He's getting a delayed hunting dogs. He's mining his wood or chopping his wood straight away. And he's going to move over onto the gazelles a little bit later. That's his little bit of cheekiness here in this game as Squash comes through and checks out this gold mine. If we move over onto Squash's perspective, Squash went for an immediate villager onto gold here, and this is going to allow him to chuck a temple down very, very early and not delay anything. He's going to be able to have as many villagers on food as he likes here, and he's going to be able to get a very, very fast classical age. So both players doing something very, very similar, and we'll see how it's all going to result in this game. Now, if I was in this position right now as Squash, you got to be a little bit concerned about what he's spotted over here. He sees a gold mine over here. He sees the tower here. He sees a potential wall that could be had here. This gold mine very, very exposed here for Suppe that Squash has spotted. So he's going to be looking to pressure that immediately. But Suppe does have a very, very nice gold mine back here that he might be able to defend with some walls and some watchtowers and things like that. But this gold mine is a very, very poor placement here. So we'll see how Suppe's gonna deal with what's coming for him. So the most important thing to do when you're in these sorts of situations with these exposed gold mines is you cannot be relying on going slow here. You have to go fast, and you have to have enough units out to defend this against anything. If your opponent comes in with a restoration, you've got to be able to pull back and have some sort of an answer there. And that's why I reckon the wall here over to here with watchtowers a little bit later is going to possibly be the answer here as Suppe's moving up onto this location over here. The other thing is he's got plenty of hunt on this forward location. He's got the hippos down here as well as the gazelle. So he should be okay on those locations there as Squash is now moving forward here to drop the temple down. This is another thing that that you can actually do with this build. Not only that, Squash is also going to be able to drop a second granary on this location in the early game and be able to advance very, very fast here as those villagers ready to drop the granary over here, not wanting to do, well, he wants to be as efficient as possible. This is Mr. Clean after all, and he is putting on a clinic right now as that villager, well, I say Mr. Clean as this villager decides to walk all the way back to this granary, and he will be advancing up through Athena. Just a touch slow here. Normally you want to see the 402 as a perfect advance, but in some situations, that's just not going to be possible here. As Squash decides to throw 8 villagers over onto wood, and he's going to be getting himself out. No extra favor, so not going for an early second Minotaur or anything like that, but 6 villagers on food, 8 villagers on wood, 1 villager on gold. He's going to be looking to get himself exactly 450 wood here from this forest before he decides to move anything away. I think that's really, really important. Now, Suppe, on the other hand, he's got 5 on food, 5 on wood, 3 on gold. He's gone for 3 dwarves here in the early game. He's pumping out the Ursa immediately here. It's vitally important to make this happen. I did a little bit of quick math on exactly what you need to defend against the initial push of a Greek player when they go for this fast advance. And effectively, at about the 5-minute and 5-second mark, you're going to be getting hit with one Toxotes, no, one Hoplite, 1 Toxotes, 1 Jason, 1 Odysseus, and we see a forward long hours from Suppe. This is incredibly ballsy here from Suppe. We'll see if this is going to work out for him or not. What this is doing is it's reducing that timer I just said, whereas 5 minutes and 5 seconds is roughly when you get hit with the first wave of units. This is making it even earlier by moving closer to your opponent because there's less walking time here, as Squash is already throwing down his military academy, already throwing down his archery range. His Odysseus is coming out. We see the bolt immediately onto the Valkyrie here as the Hursa is moving forward. Both players in the center of the map ready to get going. We see the hoplites coming out. Plenty of food in the bank here. This kind of build here might actually be worth it to grab that second Minotaur out just for the sake of it, as the archery range is coming down here as fast as it can. Looks like the villager has to pull back just a little bit here, but the Odysseus and the Jason are out, and Squash wanting to fight against this early is not really correct. In order to deal with a Jason, an Odysseus, and a Minotaur, you kind of need 4 to 5 Hursa, as Soup is retreating back here. He's getting out a couple of throw and action here to deal with the initial pressure. Got to be very careful about his units not to get special attacked by the Minotaur here in these situations. As you can see, the units deciding to turn around. The Minotaur has to get pulled back. A little bit of damage getting done for free there as the Odysseus slinging arrows there in onto those Toxotes in the back. Beautiful play thus far. There may be maybe a restoration coming here as that hoplite gets very close to falling. It does go down. The second hoplite going to be going down as well, as it looks like Soup is attempting his best to hold here in this location. The Jason and the Odysseus now going straight after the throwing action, as we do see the restoration coming in there to try and keep that Minotaur alive as he retreats back ever so slightly, keeps it alive at 73 HP. More units falling down here as the Hursa over here going to be going down as well. The Jason now starting to get taken down, as it looks like Soup has to retreat back. 39 population for Soup to Squash's 39 population as well. It is incredibly close at this point. However, Soup does have that problem here of having his longhouses right in the front, as the Minotaur does manage to get a special attack off, killing off the Ulfsark with the Hursa. Does manage to finish that one down there, as the raiding cavalry trying to get in onto the back of those Toxotes here, as the hoplites doing tons of damage. It looks like the heroes still very much alive here, but look at this micro from Soup, just ignoring the heroes here in this part of the game as best as he can, trying to get as much damage as he possibly can done onto this one, but it's just not working out for him here, as Squash is maintaining his 40 population and Soup is dropping down to 30 population here. He's got 300 wood in the back. That's a ton of wood there. Not only that, we see the villagers moving forward, trying to eat the rhinoceros here. And in that moment there, Soup does decide to tap out. Soup getting a little taste of what's to come in this matchup. He's been fairly used to this idea on these sorts of maps of being able to go forward with the longhouses and getting a slight advantage early against the slower 430 advance time of the Athena players here on this sort of a map. But now that the 402s are going to start coming out, Squash has decided that it is a worthwhile venture. Soup is going to have to rethink these initial building placements and saying, look, I need to give myself just as much time as I possibly can. If he builds back here, he gets access to like a whole 10 seconds more of training time, of defender's advantage that that Squash has to walk across the map here. You see the archers, you see the hoplites walking all the way across here. Is going to be, to get to here is roughly 10 seconds in of itself, and then to walk from here all the way over to here is another 10 seconds in of itself. So you're probably going to be getting yourself out an extra Hursa from all of your buildings by the time he starts coming through, or an extra throwing axeman or something before the fighting actually ends up happening, and you can defend that so much easier in these positions. But Soup does decide, with his gold mine being this exposed, the villagers being forward here for whichever reason, they could have come over here onto these hippopotamus, but he's definitely going to be falling here in these ones. The other thing is, if your opponent decides to go super aggressive onto your golds here, you can actually use your villagers, pull them over and try and defend this a little bit, utilizing the defender's advantage plus those villagers. You can find a little bit of a defense here against this rush. With this new kind of Soup build that he's done, that he's created, you get going really fast. But yeah, you need to get those longhouses in your base, I think, against Athena most of the time. Anyways, GG. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.